Abhishek, you spent years in leadership and organizational development before formally incorporating Reflective Horizon as a private limited this year. What was the one fracture you kept seeing in workplaces that convinced you India needed a dedicated identity transformation company, not just another training firm?
It's honestly got nothing to do with workplace fracture. I think it's what I've created is for entire humanity. It is for the whole world, for all generations, for people working, not working, students, retired people. Uh, there is a fracture everywhere, and it is at an identity level. And at this point in time, there is nothing in the human transformation world across the world that works at the identity level. The closest that even comes to accidentally touching the identity level are T groups, but even they don't do it effectively. So there was a need for that. At the same time, I also wanted that India should be on the world map when it comes to human transformation, and we should be the pioneers after 100 years of dominance of the Western world.
Correct. Look little up and down. I mean,
He knows it.
So I will ask only Abhishek's questions right now and then later on, because it's all mixed up. Do you want me to continue like that mixed up?
Yeah.
I alternated.
Then alternate you ask.
Sir,
What is Crucible Foundation?
Yeah. Question that is actually, I think everybody should ask, should be inquisitive to know is what is Crucible Foundation. My foundation is section 8A foundation. It is non-profit foundation. It is for you, me, and for everybody. It is for the underprivileged children, women, and everyone that we can talk, think, and when we stop our car and we see and we think, I wish if I could do something for them. It is for them. So I believe that we all can resonate and we can connect to this foundation.
Abhishek, Reflective Horizon is also co-anchoring a foundation that wants to make these experiences widely accessible. Now, how do you respond to critics who say intense psychological work should never be productized or sold?
We don't sell Indian psychology. I don't know where this confusion is coming from. Indian psychology is only one part of the whole process. Because we are working with identity, there is a very strong element of identity physics and field mechanics in the whole mechanism. And of course, there has to be a psychological layer. And unlike the rest of the world, I chose Indian psychology over Western psychology.
Sriparna, what will Indians experience differently in a crucible space compared to conventional coaching, therapy, or motivational workshops?
Yeah, Indian will express and experience the Indianness that we are missing, that we have been missing in Google and we found it in Zoho. That's what we are looking for.
And Abhishek, Reflective Horizon's work is sitting on the intersections of process labs, leadership development, and identity shift. When you look at young professionals today, what are the most dangerous pattern you are seeing? Burnout, quitting, or something even more invisible?
I'm really thankful that you asked this question because you use terms like process labs, and we don't do process labs. It's a very straightforward answer. This is not an intersection of process labs. We have nothing to do with process labs. We believe process labs work at a shallower level than what Crucible works at. And because we are working at an identity level, then any form of fracture, or even if there is no fracture, everybody needs an identity shift. There are 5 domains in the human transformation world. Domain 5 is process labs. We are domain 6. That's a new invention. We do not work with process labs. We do not work with T groups at all. And I would request people not to confuse it with process labs at all.
Sriparna, as a Section 8 organization over the next 3 years, what tangible outcomes in terms of numbers, geographies, or communities will convince you that Crucible Foundation is doing what it really promised?
Yeah, as I said that my foundation is first is like, I will work for and I am working for the underprivileged students who are lagging behind, who needs a little push from our side. Of course, we will take help of the corporates, and then we'll take help from the people, those who are trying to reach out to us, who are willing to help those underprivileged students, women, people, those who are looking for help, some farmers whom we can reach out and we can do something good or bring a change to their lifestyle.
I would like to ask you, Abhishek, on a personal level, what safeguards and ethics do you insist on when you're inviting people into psychologically intense spaces like this that can reshape their sense of self and identity?
Good question again. Again, something that clearly miscategorizes the category. We do not work at the emotional behavioral level or the psychological level. There is an element of Indian psychology, but like I said before as well, we work with identity physics and field mechanics. So after talking to numerous psychologists and psychiatrists, unlike programs which work on the emotional and behavioral level, a certain amount of safety is required. The entire mechanism on which the Crucible engine works is very safe in itself. That does not require any additional safeguards, because we are bypassing the entire psychological, behavioral and emotional layer, which is the most sensitive layer and needs protection. The identity layer does not need protection.
But Abhishek, if a skeptical CEO watching this tonight says, this all sounds nice, but does it move business needles? What is the most hard-nosed measurable shift you can point to from your reflective horizon journeys?
What is the biggest problem business faces today? The biggest problem business faces today is skill gaps. And that is what every L&D team talks about. And I've been hearing it for 20 years. They measure skill gaps efficiently, then they deliver skill programs. Why is it that people don't learn? Why is it that what they learn after 10 minutes of walking out of the room, they forget about it? Why is it that they think about these training programs as picnics and a day off? Because there is no learning agility. No learning agility program in the whole world can build learning agility in a person. Only when there is an identity shift, learning agility will happen. When learning agility happens, then those skill programs will become effective. When those skill programs become effective, then there will be a needle movement. And I don't need to tell any CEO that once you really and truly bridge the skill gap, your needle will move.
Sriparna, finally, if a college student or a first generation professional is watching this from a small town and quietly feels stuck in a life that is not theirs, what is one reflection you would invite them into tonight before they sign up for anything at all?
Reflect on yourself. Think, reflect on yourself, find out what are things that you need right now in life. And if you need any help, any sort of help that we can help you, just reach out to us. We are always there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.